समझ नहीं आ रहा अपने सैलरी इंक्रीमेंट का क्या करूं।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स के एसआईपी का टॉप अप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
क्या? समझ में नहीं आया।
बेटा इतना क्या सोच रहा है? अपने म्यूचुअल फंड्स का एसआईपी टॉप अप करा ले। दिस इज द राइट टाइम।
आप समझा।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
No one in India believes that Captain Sumit Sabharwal was at fault for the Air India 171 crash that so tragically crashed 30 seconds after takeoff from Ahmedabad. These are not my words, but the words of the top court. India's Supreme Court made this observation in response to a petition filed by the aging father of Captain Sabharwal and the Federation of Indian Pilots. In fact, the Supreme Court judges specifically said that this was not a burden that Captain Sabharwal's father should be carrying. He should not be carrying a burden thinking that his son is being blamed for the crash. This is a dramatic development in the probe into who or what caused the Air India 171 crash. Remember, the ailing father of Captain Sumit Sabharwal has been saying that his son has been character assassinated as a result of innuendo and insinuations. The Supreme Court today described these insinuations, in particular the Wall Street Journal, as nasty reporting. Captain Sabharwal's father has since revealed that when members affiliated to the probe panel came to meet him on the pretext of offering condolences, they basically blamed his son, suggesting that it was his son who may have crashed the plane as part of a suicide mission of some kind. Captain Sabharwal's aging father, who's already grieving, has taken on these allegations head on, and he has addressed all of the whispers about his son, his divorce, his mother's death, even whispers about the fact that his son may have been depressed, saying that these are all insinuations and asserting that his son had an unblemished flying record. Today, the Supreme Court took note of a heartbroken father, and also the anguish and anger that all of these insinuations have caused in the pilot community. The Federation of Indian Pilots is only one of the petitioners in the Supreme Court, along with Sumit's father. Earlier, the Safety Matters Foundation has also filed its own writ in the court. With this dramatic development and notices served to the government, to the DGCA, the question now remains, will there be a fresh investigation into the crash? Let me introduce our three very distinguished experts today as we look at what has happened in court. Captain Randhawa of the Federation of Indian Pilots is with us. It is their petition along with Sumit's father's petition that the Supreme Court has responded to today. We're also joined by Captain Amit Singh. His foundation, Safety Matters, is already in the court, and he's been fighting this battle for a while now in the Supreme Court, also saying that the probe panel, the preliminary investigation report, is a compromised report. Also joining us is Captain Sam Thomas. He's with ALPA, the other major pilots association, who's also from day one been questioning whether the expertise on the panel that is looking into this crash is sufficient. Are they the right people? And also questioning whether the probe panel was in too much of a hurry to give a clean chit to Boeing. Let me start with you, Captain Randhawa. It was the Federation of Pilots and Captain Sabharwal's father's petition that the court has responded to today. And in open court, the judges made a couple of different very big observations. One, no one in India believes that it's the pilot's fault. Two, they don't want his ailing father to be carrying this burden at this stage in his life. How significant are the observations of the court? Take us through what happened in the Supreme Court today.
Good evening, Barkha and my fellow panelists. Today in the court, the proceedings were live, and I had attended it from Bombay, and both the judges they took a serious view of the petition which has been filed, and what you rightly, Barkha, covered. That is what the judges have basically said, that you cannot blame the pilot at this stage based on the preliminary reports, and they talked about the insinuation based on the prelim report, and they also blamed the form of nasty reporting by the foreign media. They further at the end they also said that the prelim report was selective and in piecemeal. Now they have clubbed the matter with the petition filed by Capt Amit Singh and PIL filed by Advocate Mishra in the Supreme Court. The next hearing is on the 10th, because the order will be served today, and then the counsels from the Government of India will be appearing in the court. Both the judges heard the petition, and it was well argued by our senior counsel, Mr. Gopal Shankar Narayanan, whom we've hired along with our solicitors, Mr. Joseph. Now, what has led to this situation? Since last 5 to 6 months, whether it is our association or ALPA or Amit, we have all been saying that you need to do an independent inquiry. Now, they are stuck to Rule 12 of the Indian Aircraft Rules of 2017 on aircraft accident investigations. Now, if you go through the Doc 9756, Part 1, page 1-2-8, which says that the investigators of the accident, they should be very well qualified and trained. Today we have a set of 5 people in the AAIB, and if you see their credentials and their experience levels, they are not competent enough to carry out the investigations. We are very clear on that. And right after the crash, we have been demanding for the subject matter experts to be a part of the inquiry. Till today, nothing is being done in that sense, except that one Captain Sandhu was put on the investigation board. Still, we find there are people missing from senior engineer avionics, senior engineer engines and airframes, also an expert on air safety who could have retired from DGCA. And we have proposed some names to our senior counsel that in case the Honorable Court asks that who should be a part of the independent judicial probe,
Yeah.
we suggested the names.
I have a question here. Though.
Yes.
You say that one of your main concerns is that the credentials of the investigators is in doubt. And if I remember the sequence correctly, Captain Sandhu gets added well after the preliminary report has already been placed in public domain, and a certain narrative has been placed, giving a clean chit to the manufacturers and with pointing a kind of de facto finger at the pilot by insinuation. Is it your position? Is it the position of your petition that you want a brand new probe, or is it your position that you want the composition of the investigative body to be changed, Captain Randhawa?
We have asked for a judicial probe
Yes.
to have more transparency and accountability. If it should be headed by a judge of the Supreme Court or the High Court, and then he must have a team of people who carry out these investigations. If you go back into the crash, Mangalore crash of Air India Express in the few years back,
Yeah.
who was the investigator? It was an independent body. There was no AIB. It was the chairman of the board was Air Marshal Gokhale, right? So it was an independent board which held an inquiry. Here, AIB has been entrusted. If they were entrusted with this task under the Rule 12, then 4 people out of these 5, they are DGCA. So what independent probe are we doing? It's a real mockery of the system. So we have no faith. And we have been saying over and over and over again that please hold a judicial probe. Amit has been asking for an independent court of inquiry. Only difference is we are asking for a judicial probe.
Okay, hold that thought. Let me get the others in now. These are very strong words. I'll start with you, Captain Thomas, and then come to Amit because he has his own petition in the Supreme Court. Captain Randhawa says that the DGC overwhelming number of the probe panel are DGCA. He says this is not independent. He's implying there's a conflict, as it were, of interest. The pilot that gets added on after the preliminary report is in the public domain. How significant is it that from the highest court of the land today, you have the judge saying to an ailing father, don't carry this burden. The country doesn't think your son did it. Now, it's reassuring emotionally, but it may not actually get in the end to the bottom of what caused it.
You've hit
Captain
the nail.
Thomas.
You've hit the nail on the head. Exactly. The pertinent observations by the Honorable Supreme Court very clearly mentioned that this is not an independent inquiry. But it also says that you need to actually legally challenge the setting up of the committee as well. Now, be that as it may, I will limit my argument to non-technical matters when my seniors are there. So what we'd like to do is bring back the memories of what we started off with. Firstly, there was an issue we created, and it was taken up very well by the journalists, including yourselves, that the CVR, DFDR, the EAFR is going to be sent abroad. We were assured by the powers that be that it was done in India. Unfortunately, we've come to know very credibly from the very source that decoded these DFDRs that it was done in the United States of America. That's one.
Both of them or one of them?
The CVR was partially done in India, the DFDR completely done in the United States. So that was one. And the other is, what is the punishment for perjury in India? Everybody seems to be giving out statements in the parliament that everything is okay, it's an independent body. We had the opportunity to meet the AAIB. Now, it was not the best of meeting, and we were told in no uncertain terms that we are not welcome, our views are not welcome. They cited certain legalities where we could not be part of their investigation. They said they had 250 experts. I have flown the least among all the 3 of the panelists. That's 31 years. I don't know anybody who is on this panel. And there is a marked reluctance to add any one of us. And apparently this comes from much above the pay grade of the AAIB. And as Captain Randhawa put it very bluntly, these people lack the expertise. And you have to see their conversation, or rather, indulge in their conversation to believe what we saw there. And I don't see this particular body, AAIB, getting anywhere close to the actual fact of the matter. And as far as the judicial inquiry is concerned, there is a certain advantage of a judicial inquiry, that is that anybody can go and give witness to the judge by giving him a notice and saying, hey, listen, I have something to say. And the judge, more often than not, will entertain it. And that's the way to go, we believe.
Captain Amit Singh, let me bring you in now, because you have, before today, your writ petition was already before the court. And you've been arguing for a while, including on my programs, that you believe that the probe panel is compromised. And you believe that for a number of reasons. You believe that the selective leaking of the CVR which is not verbatim but interpretative, that compromises the probe. You also last time raised a question, and it's a very disturbing question, as to whether the photograph of the rat deployed that has been used in the preliminary report is actually the photograph of the actual plane that crashed, and that's only one of the many discrepancies that you have raised. I think since then you have found some other discrepancies. Before I get to those discrepancies, how do you see the developments in court today? Presumably all of your petitions will be clubbed now. The Supreme Court will hear them all together. How significant is what has happened in court today?
Well, there are two important points which were raised, and the observations made by the Honorable Court. Firstly, on the emotional part, they said that entire India is supportive of his petition and his thinking. Second is the technical part, which is on the Act and AIB. So that needs to be argued, because the courts will look at the provisions of the Act and the prayer, and they will not go by the emotions.
Yeah.
Now, if we look at the panel, the investigation panel, as everybody's saying, 3 out of the 5 are DGCA members. I'll take you back to the Calicut accident. There were 2 recommendations from the Calicut accident, and incidentally, a couple of weeks back, the Minister of State has given a reply in the Parliament stating that all the recommendations of the Mangalore accident and Calicut accident have been implemented. Now, from the AIB point of view, there were 2. One was regarding the staffing, inadequate investigators in the AIB. And second was software and hardware for black box analysis. And there was a second part to it, that the aircraft manufacturers should provide, or rather must provide, AIB with all the literature, software and hardware of the aircraft type that is being flown in India. And so if the recommendation has been implemented, then why is AIB looking to DGCA for
so I have a question. I think it's important for our audience. One is, you are basically, Captain Randhawa said 4 of the 5 members are DGCA. You're saying 3. So I just want to be sort of technically correct. Is it 3 or 4? According to both of you, I think both what you're saying is the presence of the majority is DGCA. Why is that a problem? Why is that a conflict of interest? That's what we have to explain to a larger audience.
Yeah. So in this accident, DGCA itself will be under investigation, because they are responsible for safety oversight and airworthiness approval, training, etc. So if they themselves are being investigated, how can they be on the panel? Secondly, again, if I go back to the Calicut accident report, it says in one para that the DGCA officers were not cooperative with the investigation. So if there's a doubt on the cooperation, because they will be trying to protect their organization, and if you put them in the investigation panel, obviously there will be a clear conflict of interest, and it has been proven in the Calicut accident case.
Okay. So, do you also want to respond? One is the composition of the team. Captain Thomas is raising questions about the analysis of the black box. Yeah, if you want to just add on to that, and then I'll go to Captain Randhawa.
So the first black box was recovered on the 13th of June, which is the left one, the aft one. Which is, if you can see, is quite badly damaged. Thermal damage is there. The report also says.
The one on the left on the screen.
Yeah, the smaller one.
Yeah, smaller one. Yes.
The one on the right, which is box with suit on it, was actually in the fire. So the one which was not in so much fire got damaged more than the one which was actually in the greater part of the fire. So besides that, if the first one was recovered on 13th, second on 16th, the report says both the black boxes were transported to Delhi on 24th. So for good 10-12 days, they were sitting in Ahmedabad. ICAO requires the moment you recover a black box, it has to be sent to the lab for investigation because it holds critical safety data. Because there are so many aircrafts flying, and we don't know what actually happened. Everything
So
is there.
are you saying there are questions around the black box integrity, the way it was kept? Explain it a little more for a layperson.
So I'm just talking. The first point is toward the timing. So till 24th, the black boxes were in Ahmedabad, and the report says the golden chassis, which is a replica black box, was sourced from the NTSB USA on the 23rd, which means the decision would have been taken on 22nd, even if not on 20th or before. So sitting in Ahmedabad, there is no lab. How did they determine without opening this box that the chip inside was damaged and they need a golden chassis? Right. And I have seen written statements by people, ex-NTSB investigators during that time, that the black box is in US, that they have written, that there have been the chats which are going on between the NTSB investigators. So looking at if you look at this UPS NTSB release, they show the black box they've recovered in one day. And the same day they have sent it to Washington where the lab is. And there's another photograph in which they have given a close-up of the module where the data is stored. So that is the level of transparency and the press briefs, etc. So this raises a doubt, and Indian government has neither denied that there was no leak, and they have not confirmed anything. So there is no statement.
And have you placed this before the court? All these points that you're raising, Amit, in your petition, you have. Captain Randhawa, Captain Randhawa, do you want to add to this? Yeah, sorry, Amit, complete your point, and then I'll go to Captain Randhawa.
No, I had certain other points regarding the
discrepancies. Yeah, I'll come back to the technical aspects. Captain Randhawa, what I'm hearing from all three of you so far are 2-3 things. One is, was the black box or one of the black boxes sent to America for analysis? Both Captain Thomas and Captain Amit Singh are raising questions about that. Amit is also raising another question that if the black box was sitting in Ahmedabad for 20 days, did that violate a norm? If I'm paraphrasing this correctly, please correct me if I'm not. And the third is the composition of the investigators. Is there anything else I'm missing? And do you want to add to these questions around the integrity of the black box?
I agree with both my panelists, Amit and Sam, that we also believe that the black boxes have gone to US and they have been downloaded there. And they could have fiddled around with the data which is there.
But it shouldn't be difficult to know whether the black boxes were sent to America or not. This shouldn't be difficult to know.
It is not difficult, but it is not being divulged. They have, if it was not sent, then the AIB has to vehemently deny it. They have not done. They are just saying it has been done in India. Point number one. Another point I want to bring about is, where is the accountability of Boeing to ensure that when this aircraft has crashed only from 600 feet, the black box has been damaged so badly? There has been electrical fire. There is again leading to a problem of electrical circuitry. This is supposed to be, even if the aircraft falls from 33 or 35,000 feet and falls and crashes, these boxes should have been absolutely intact. No one is questioning that at all. Whether it's AIB, whether it's DGCA, how can the black boxes be damaged?
I think Amit has been raising this from the beginning, that the nature of damage to the black boxes suggests an electrical fire. So we now have 3-4 objections. Well, one objection, the composition of the team investigating. The second, a question, was one or two or both, were both or one of the black boxes sent to America for analysis? And you're saying we don't clearly know an answer to this. 3, the nature of damage to the black boxes suggests an electrical fire. Why did the probe panel not look at that possibility? Right? Amit, you wanted to add some technical other discrepancies. One other point is that Amit believes that the picture of the rat deployed may or may not be the same of the plane that actually crashed. Captain Amit, am I saying this correctly?
Yeah, primarily because there's no timestamp. Now, what the preliminary report violates is the fact that, as per ICAO and the Act, preliminary report is supposed to contain only facts, nothing besides the facts till that date. Now, what is the need to introduce a photograph without a timestamp? So, how do we verify that it is the same aircraft? Right. So, similarly, there's a small timeline I'll go through that there are references to the black box as EAFR. So, wherever there is data, credible data, the report mentions EAFR, as per EAFR, as per EAFR in every line. And at places that as per EAFR goes missing, especially most crucial point of time.
Can you explain this simply? Can you explain this simply?
So the report says that the aircraft got airborne as per EAFR, which means it is a verified data from the black box at 0839. That is the airborne time. And it says the maximum speed recorded was 180 knots at about 42, and immediately thereafter the fuel control switches transition to cutoff. And there is no source. So there is no EFR word in this, which means the black box stopped receiving information from the systems. So like in the UPS accident, the NTSB has briefed that the maximum height and speed was so-and-so. And they got the data from FAA, which means from the ATC, ADSB. So there's an alternate source. So it is not the black box. They're very clear. Here, the report should have mentioned the source. If the source is not there, that data should not be there because it is not a fact.
What is the other source of data? What is the other source of data other than the black boxes?
Flight radar gives you the altitude and speed.
Yeah.
Similarly, the ATC also, the air traffic control also has that indication on their radar screen. So that is an alternate source of data, which is also seized at the time of the accident. Right. But that is not a very accurate data. The accurate data is the black box data. So that cannot be relied. That is only indicative.
So you're saying there are parts of the report that give unsourced data?
Yeah. So the most crucial part, the maximum speed, what speed is it? There are different types of speeds. Like the flight radar gives the ground speed, which has the wind effect. Then you have the indicated speed, which the pilots see. Then you have the calibrated speed without errors, instrument errors. So there are different types. So if you see the flight data recorder data, it shows you typically CAS. So here they are very ambiguous. So you should not place data which you cannot have place accuracy on. So now this is one part.
Yeah.
So soon after this, the EFR again starts. So the next line after this is at time 5:2, the fuel control switches transition from cutoff to run as per EFR, which means there was some electrical disturbance. And after 10 seconds, the RAT deploys, electrical power is restored, then the EFR starts getting the data again. So the report also says at 5:2 as per EFR.
So there is a period there's a period in which the black box is getting no data. There is a yes.
Yeah, that's why they're not able to source. Otherwise, they would have said as per EFR the maximum speed and fuel control switches. Then the next point is the position of the landing gear and the flaps. So there was a lot of discussion initially were the flaps deployed or not. So the report says very clearly that as per EFR, the flaps were at position 5, which is the takeoff position. And the flap lever is also at 5. Correct. Next, the line, the report says that the landing gear lever was in down position. So why don't they say what was the position of the landing gear? Was it down or up as per the EFR, as per the black box? So because they have the data, they're not quoting the data. So they've said the lever is in down position. So which could have happened because of impact or anything. So they're not quoting the source here. again, they are trying to build a narrative. The CVR transcript does not have a timestamp, and it is also a paraphrased version. So if it is not a fact, it should not be there in the report. That's fair and simple.
Okay, Captain Thomas, what happens now? The point is, this may not, the court has said something emotional that we've all said. Yay, court, thank you for saying this. But now what? Now what? What are you hoping for?
Ma'am, firstly, let me clarify that the meeting with ALPA India and AAIB, they very categorically said that the DFDR was decoded in India and abroad.
They told you that. They told you that.
Yes. So I just want to clarify that. And
so then you're saying that this is confirmed, but I don't really understand. So it was decoded in both places?
That's the exact statement of AAIB.
Could you explain it further?
See, when the hue and cry was raised by all the pilot associations stating that we have the capability to go to the moon but not to decode the DFDR, and that you have overlooked a major issue of having just inaugurated 6 months back a state-of-the-art facility in Delhi for specifically decoding DFDR, you are still sending it abroad. That at that time we were assured that no, this decoding would happen in India.
So when ALPA was told that it was analyzed both in India and abroad, did you not ask, was it one each? Was it both? Did both analysis come to the same conclusion? You must have asked some questions.
We were not encouraged to ask questions. In fact, it was one of those meetings where we were told that, you know nothing. Our preliminary report is accepted worldwide. It is one of the best reports, and our experts are beyond question. So these are the exact words. And I'd like.
But you are confirming that they did confirm to you that the black boxes, there were 2, were analyzed both in India and abroad.
Absolutely, yes, ma'am. And please underline what Captain Amit is saying regarding the narrative has been set. This is what we've been talking about right from the beginning. There is a narrative set. There are lots of experts who have come very close to the exact reason. 2 of the panelists that you've brought on board, 2 legal experts whom you brought on board, Mojo, very, very clearly came to as close as possible, as Captain Amit and Captain Randhawa were alluding to. That is as close as you can get. However, we don't believe that the investigating agency is even looking in that direction. And primarily, we put it to you that they do not have even a semblance of expertise to go anywhere near such a complicated matter.
So I want Captain Amit, and then I'll give Captain Randhawa the last word, to actually respond to Captain Thomas's very important piece of news that he's giving us, which is that when representatives of ALPA met with the probe panel, they were told, it was confirmed to them, it's not clear whether, as I asked, was it both boxes, was it one, and what it means, but they were told when when ALPA met with the probe panel, that the black boxes were decoded both in India and abroad. So now we know this. According to him, it's now a confirmed fact.
Yeah. So there's a difference between downloading and decoding.
Explain. So, Captain Thomas, were you told downloaded or decoded? I can't hear Captain Thomas. Hear Captain Thomas. Yeah.
Decoded is what we were told. But now we are talking about Captain Amit Singh, a technical expert, and somebody in the AIB
who may have used the words interchangeably. May or may not.
Absolutely. And they interchangeably, these words have been used like transition and moved and stuff like that.
Correct.
Confuse.
But the word used with you was decoding.
Decoding. Absolutely.
Yes.
Decoding. If
so
I
with
said that earlier, it's wrong. Sorry.
So no, I think you said decoded only, and I think we wrote decoded also. I take the caveat that they may have used the words interchangeably. Now, Captain Amit, over to you. if we assume the black boxes were decoded both in India and abroad, and that's what actually happened, as opposed to downloaded both in India and abroad, what do these two scenarios look like?
See, in case of Mangalore accident, again, the black boxes were damaged quite a bit and they were sent to NTSB. So that is very clear. After that, in Calicut, there was a recommendation that we need to have all the equipment supplied by the manufacturers. For example, the golden chassis. So we should have a golden chassis of all the aircrafts which are flying. So in the parliament, the minister has said it has been implemented, but we have seen that it is not available, even though we have a new facility which can decode, but was not able to download. That is why
What do you mean? Why were we not able to download? What does it mean?
So if a black box get damaged beyond a certain extent, the data cannot be extracted. So they need a replica black box, which cannot write. Only the difference is it cannot write, which means overwrite the recordings. So basically, the data is transported through
and
cables.
That's when you use the golden chassis. Is that when? Yeah.
So golden chassis is a replica. So that is.
I think Thomas is. I think Sam is raising his hand to just make an interjection. Captain Thomas. Captain Thomas.
Ma'am, isn't it preposterous to think that we can decode, download anything that is burnt beyond recognition, recovered from terrorists in the form of mobile phones and computer data, and that we cannot replicate the same thing in a DFDR? It's an argument which we are not willing to buy, ma'am. He's right, but unfortunately, that's not the correct argument.
Okay, Amit, Captain Amit.
Yeah, so this is basically they'll go as per the legality. ICAO Annex says that if you do not have the facility to download or decode, then you can take the help of the other parties. NTSB is also a party to the investigation. And
so you're saying legally they're covered? Legally they're covered?
Yeah, so the report is very carefully crafted. The words have been placed very carefully that you cannot catch them anywhere doing anything wrong. It's only the legality, and we are able to prove that there was something wrong with the aircraft technically. For example, the landing gear was selected up, even though the report says the lever was down. So it is basically like the picture you see.
Yeah.
These are the bogies, the wheels. When the aircraft takes off, the wheels are pointing upwards, right?
Yeah.
So only when the lever is selected up by the pilot, the wheels move down and then the doors open and they move in. Here the wheels are moved down, which means it is a confirmation that the lever has been selected up, but the doors haven't opened, which also indicates that there was a fault here. So there was something which happened very soon that the doors could not open, but the retraction cycle initiated. So these visual evidence are available, but in the report, as I said, there are too many loopholes. Pre-existing faults were there, and we have presented the evidence in the court of pre-existing fault, electrical disturbance with the aircraft, the distribution system, electrical distribution systems, hydraulic and flight controls, Captain EFB. There are a whole number
a whole bunch of plausible technical.
So they have said no technical recommendations at this point, but there were technical issues. Rather than going and investigating these technical issues, why the emergency locator did not function. So that is a big thing.
Yeah,
but there are no recommendations.
Absolutely, and it's sort of so much detail here that the pro panel, at least the preliminary report that we've seen, did not address. Captain Randhawa, let me give you the last word. I'm assuming that Captain Sabharwal's father is now too old to appear in court himself, or will he also be coming to court? How is he doing? How has he reacted to the development today?
See, we had a tough time for him to sign the petition because our law firm clearly said that we have a good chance in the court if the father also becomes a petitioner. And ultimately, we convinced him that he does sign the wakalatnama and becomes a party to the petition. He is not going to be appearing in the court. He's too old to travel to Delhi, and he's staying by himself in Mumbai. So he will not be appearing in the court, and we will be handling the case from the FIP side. And now, since all the three cases are going to be clubbed together, and the Honorable Court will come to some decision that what is the next course of action. So we are just hoping and praying that that we are able to convince in the court that a judicial probe or an independent probe is mandatory. Though today one of the judges, he mentioned, I would like to add, when our council questioned about the Rule 12, so the judge said, in that case, you need to go to the appropriate body and get the rule changed.
Yeah.
So
we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, basically.
It will go. Because at present, though the petition, we have added lots of things in the petition, right from the DFDRs to electrical systems to what all we have conveyed till now, and the sequence of action, and these two gentlemen who went on 30th August to
Sumit's father. Yes.
Sumit's father. So all these, it's a very exhaustive petition which has been filed, and it will not be easy for Supreme Court to throw it out of the window. So I think it will be deliberated, and it's cause of concern, and we hope that it goes in the right direction.
Well, I will say all three of you have worked very hard, to highlight, to flag so many issues, technical flaws, missing information, absence of timestamps, not sort of appropriately sourced data, questioning possible conflict of interest in the probe panel, leaked sort of innuendo-filled media reporting, pointing a sort of whispering finger at Captain Sumit, and now confirmation from Captain Thomas that indeed the black boxes, at least one, if not both, were sent abroad for downloading or decoding. We don't know, but decoding is the word used by the probe panel in their meeting with ALPA. All I can say is keep fighting the good fight, and we'll keep following what happens in court. Thank you so much to Captain Randhawa, Captain Amit Singh, and Captain Thomas. Thank you, take care, and see you soon. It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.